All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's review class. Okay. And today we were talking about slopes and rates of change, but we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So, real quick, parallel lines are two straight lines that do not intersect each other and have the same slope in this case. So, in this case, the slopes are going to be the same, meaning m equals m. So, if one slope was 3, the slope of the other line is also 3, right? That's when the lines are parallel. Two perpendicular lines are two lines, and that's a pretty smudged up equal, that when they intersect each other form a 90-degree angle. That's what the perpendicular line is. Now, in the case of the perpendicular line, the slope is actually the negative reciprocal of the other. So what does that mean? Well, it means that, for example, if the slope here is 2/3, the slope of one line is 2/3, the slope of the other line has to be -3/2. And that would mean that both of these lines are perpendicular. Okay, so what we're going to see in these two examples, 4A and 4B, which are in your textbook, is how to determine whether two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So example 4A, and 1 second, there you go. Example 4A, I keep deleting this, and this is not supposed to be deleted. All right, let's see if I can do it this way. Example 4A and 4B of your textbooks actually give you two pairs of lines, and we're supposed to determine if those lines are perpendicular, if they're parallel, or if they're neither. So let's look at that real quick. So in example 4A, well, here's my slope formula, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And here, guys, I always label my left pair as x sub 1, y sub 1, and my right ordered pair as x sub 2, y sub 2. So what we're going to do here is just basically plug them in, and we're going to say -1, which is my y sub 2, minus 2, and that's going to be over 0, which is my x sub 2, minus -2. So minus -2. And we're going to add that, guys. And -1 minus 2 is going to be -3. And 0 minus -2 is actually going to be 2, positive 2. So the slope of line 1 is -3/2. Now we're going to look for the slope of line 2, and we're going to plug them in. And y sub 2 is going to be 3 in this case, minus y sub 1, which is -1, over over 2, which is my y sub 2, minus -4. So 3 minus -1 is actually going to equal to 4, positive 4. And 2 minus -4, I actually add that up and equals 6. And if I reduce this, I get that my answer is actually 2/3. So if I compare 2/3, which is my answer here, to -3/2, I know that they're the negative reciprocal of each other, which means that these two lines are perpendicular. So I'm just going to abbreviate it as PER and P. Perpendicular, right? Now we're going to do the same thing on this side with our other lines, or for example 4B. So we're going to, again, this pair x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. We just plug them into the formula. So the first one would be -3 minus 2 over 4 minus 1, and that would be our 4 minus 1, which would be our x sub 2 and x sub 1. Negative 3 minus 2, I add that, and that equals negative 5. And 4 minus 1 is 3, so that would be negative 5/3. So we're going to do the same thing here, and we're going to compare. So in our second slope, you would say negative 2, or in our second line, excuse me, minus 3 over negative 1 minus negative 4 minus negative 4. So negative 2 minus 3 is also negative 5, because when you're subtracting integers, you're adding the opposite. So this would be negative 5. And negative 1 minus negative 4, I add that, and that would actually be negative 1 plus 4, which is positive 3. And if I realize the slope in 4b, the slope is the same, the slope is the same. So negative 5/3 for line 1 and negative 5/3 for line 2, which means that these two lines are parallel. And I'm just going to see if I can write it parallel, because they have the same slope. So there it is, guys. This is example 4A and 4B for today. Hopefully this video will help you. The assignments are uploaded to your LMS. So enjoy the rest of your day, and until our next class. So stay safe. Bye.